what's up YouTube? Sexy Mr. Mustard out here on a hot ass freaking day. So anyways guys, I'm riding into town to let y'all in on a little story that I like to call Dad's Stories episode 3. Oh shit, it's not episode 3, it's episode 4. Quattro. This one's actually a fucking hoot. On the last episode of Dad's Stories, my dad was running barefoot from the police, and that is not even the story that I wanted to tell, but that's the only one I could think of because I forgot it after I got out here and started riding. So I'm riding into town today, and I actually just thought of this one last night and was thinking, how the shit have I not told this already? Also, I'm going down this road down here. I wanted to see if there's a place to park and check out these rocks. Guys, what do y'all think about tank armor? I think I'm going to get some because this tank being matte finish, you know, you'd think that clear coat, as shiny and slick as it looks, would be slicker, but it's not. This matte finish is so matte smooth that it's just like slick as shit. Plus, tank armor looks cool as shit, in my opinion. And when I say tank armor, I don't mean one of those stupid tank protectors with an American flag or any of those stupid ones. I mean the stuff that looks like yoga mat, kind of, that sticks on, that looks all race-like. So this road's pretty cool. But anyways, the dad stories that I wanted to let y'all in on is a time of frustration, and this actually involves me. This is the only one I've told so far that didn't happen in the 70s or 80s. This was actually a while. Now that I think about it, this wasn't like a super long time ago, but I was in college. So anyways, what happened? So my dad, as y'all know, he's a big fisherman. Y'all should know this by now. And he had, this was what, 2 boats ago, or 1 boat ago. He had a Procraft, like a little 18-foot Procraft that was pretty nice. It was like a 94. But they made a lot of improvements in boats since then. So he was looking at getting another boat, which he well deserves. I mean, this is like the only hobby that he has. This is such a pretty little road. So, like I said, this is pretty much the only hobby that my dad has and spends money on, besides like home improvement and shit like that. So he found this newer Procraft online on, like, I don't know where you find this shit back then, Boat Trader or something. It wasn't online, I know. But he found this, this was in the, let me tell you, this was in the days of MapQuest, or, you know, Google Maps, where you printed out the directions, because not everybody was cool enough to have a smartphone just yet. He found this Procraft online. It was a newer model than his. I think it was like, back then it was like a 2003 or some shit, 2004. And he wanted to go look at it. The only problem was this boat is in South Carolina. And I felt bad because I pretty much convinced him to go look at it. But we knew it was going to be like a 5-hour drive. And, you know, I thought this would just be a cool thing to go do anyways. You know, I mean, me and my dad, I was like, this will be fun, just taking a road trip up there to look at this boat. He had full intentions of buying it because he talked to this man on the phone 3 or 4 times. And the man assured us that the boat was in great shape. It had never been in salt water, etc. You know, everything else that people lie to you on the equivalent of Craigslist back then on. So the man wouldn't give my dad pictures or anything to go off of to make the thing look, you know, to get what yeah, there were a couple pictures on the Auto Trader ad or whatever it was, Boat Trader, and we were like, okay, cool. So I was at the doctor's office and I was talking to him on the phone about it, and I was like, you know, let's just go do it. Let's just go look at it. I'm like, what have you got to lose? If it's as nice as the man says it is, let's just get it. So we had a good time, and it was a long drive. We drove our asses up there you know, so I feel like traveling back then was different because I didn't have a smartphone. My dad certainly didn't have a smartphone. This was like right before smartphones started, everybody started having a smartphone. You were a lucky mofo if you had an iPhone when we went and did this. And so we printed out the directions, and you know how that is. You got, oh god, that fucking raccoon smells. So you know how that is. You've got to sit there and like greet off and check them off, and then reverse the damn things for the way back, or print out reversed ones so you don't get confused. So we started heading up there. We had a pretty uneventful trip, but let me tell you, it was long. My dad is one of these people that does not ride in a car well. So we get up, we start getting there, we start getting lost, and this was about 5 minutes from where we were. We're starting to get a little lost, and the thing is snaking us through everywhere to get to this place. And the boat was on a marina, and you got to understand, we left at probably like, God, when did we leave? We didn't get there until like, God, I want to say like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night in South Carolina. So look at this boat. When we get there, the man had said that it was ready to tow. Well, the ends were cut off to plug into the truck. So we're like, okay, well, whatever. I guess that's not a big deal. We'll go, go to Walmart, get a thing. And my dad's looking over this boat, and granted, you got to understand, we have driven 5 hours at this point. 5 hours in a car to go see this thing. We're both just like dumbfounded that this boat was not, and let me tell you, I'm going to get to the part. This has a pretty freaking funny ending. But the boat just wasn't what the guy said it was. It didn't have very nice, like the boat didn't have the cap, the top of the boat was all fucked up. When we say that, it was oxidized. I brought some wax with me to see if I could, fix it. And if you ever mess with gel coat, it's terrible. So the boat just does not look what it says it did. The guy said it had never been in salt water. And when we get there, the thing had a white saltwater trolling motor on it. That was a nice bug. So we're both sitting there thinking, oh, fuck. So this guy's full of fucking shit. It has been in salt water. It's got redfish stickers or whatever those fish are that are in salt water all over the side of it. And the shit kicker of all of this, the guy's just like, oh, that's fine. That'll buff right out. But the enormous shit kicker of this fucking story is that I kept looking at I should preface this by saying that it was a man and his wife in his like 60s to really early 70s. And this bitch, or this dude, we go back to the back, and there's I was noticing on the motor, like the cover of the motor, I'm like, that's not stock, is it? And I kept reading it, like, I was like, because my mind was playing tricks on me. It had a Mercury motor on it. And I was like, back then the Mercuries had, they had like a design where it said Mercury, and then there was like an American flag flowing on it. And I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, that's not the American flag. That's the fucking like rebel flag. And this is what reminded me of this, was all this rebel flag talk, which that's a whole nother argument. So yeah, I'm looking at this rebel flag, and the motor is a Mercury. And they have somehow twisted this to make it say the Mercury is rising. Now, I'm one of these people that does not think that originally that flag was born in hatred or anything like that, but there are people that turn it into hatred things, and that's what this was. We were like, my dad, I remember him being like, partner, they're like, you neglected to mention this, and my dad was kind of making fun of it. And the woman, these two people could have been Klans members or something, because I mean, the wife is looking at us like she wants to murder us, like it's some kind of huge disrespect that we're making fun of the rebel flag that says the Mercury is rising on this boat. Now, if you don't if you're a little slow and you're not getting the joke here, It's racist. It's a fucking racist statement on the side of a boat. On the motor, they've twisted the word mercury, which is the maker of the motor, and put it in a sentence. The mercury is rising. Like, we're getting pissed off at black people. We're ready to do something to them or some shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, we can't go home with the KKK boat. I mean, it can't happen. I'm like, my dad's like, partner, do you understand that we live in Birmingham? We have to trail. He's like, he was telling this woman, if I buy this boat, I'm going to have to scrape this shit off before I can even, like, tow this thing through downtown Birmingham. We're going to get shot. And she's just like, oh, it's custom motor paint. We're just like, this is not anything to brag about. I mean, for real, the thing had the rebel flag on it. And I will tell you, it was really well done. Like, that's why it threw me off at first. I kept looking at it because it looked just like the stock one, except it had a rebel flag and added words to it. So somebody had taken the time to actually make that thing. The mercury is rising. It was a thing, all right. And the woman just kept getting madder and madder. My dad, let me tell you, my dad is the nicest guy on the planet, but I really thought that he has a temper. He used to have a lot worse temper, but he has a temper, and I really thought that my dad was going to beat this man's ass and throw him in the lake. I mean, we went and looked at it by a marina, and it would have not surprised me if my dad, like, picked this fool up and threw him in the damn lake. I mean, that's just how bad this was. So basically, we had wasted 5 hours of driving. I had to go to class the next day. Long story short, we didn't get back until like damn 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get up for a damn 9 o'clock class. I'm like, this was like a horrific idea. But my dad, he was mad and sad about it, because he was looking at me like, you're not gonna be mad if I don't take this boat. And I'm like, I'd be mad if you took this boat. You know, the guy was just a fucking liar. It was ridiculous. He should have given us gas money to come up there or something. I mean, I was amazed. I mean, can you believe that shit? The mercury is rising. It's like, dude, son of a bitch. So not only would we have to pay money for a boat that the guy lied to us about what it looked like, we're going to have the motor painted and then order the damn graphics and get them put back on it. It is just too much to deal with. It was too much. And I do not blame him for not taking it. So we hauled our sad asses all the way back to Birmingham, Alabama, empty-handed with no boat, and got home, had to get up. God, got there at 4 a.m. Ugh. So I remember when I got back home, I was like so relieved at like 4 o'clock in the morning I could smoke a cigarette at peace. Hit that subscribe button. You know you want to do it. You know you want to do it. Like the video, as always, comment. I just like to have a good old time riding my bike. Oh, we got some shade. This is nice. Alright guys, I'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.